Hello, in this AWS restart, I will be demonstrating about this 175 lab using this auto scaling in AWS Linux. Okay, quickly I'll open this lab, okay, where you can see the objectives of this. But before going through the objectives, what I do is I'll start the lab, then I'll be explaining about the objectives, okay. So the resources need some time to start. I'll just start this objectives. Okay, I'll start the lab. I have already started the lab. It will take a couple. So the scenario is like this thing. Uh, yeah. Okay, the scenario is after completing this lab, you will be able to create Amazon AMI using command line interface. Our objective is to create an AMI using command. And using this AMI, we will also deploy this auto scaling, okay, into a specific task for other experience. So the following components are created. You can see Amazon VPC, public subnets, private subnets, of course. So you will create the following components in the lab. So we have several tasks. There's a web server, and then the AMI, and also the scaling configuration, auto scaling group, auto scaling policies, and your load balancer. So several tasks are there. So wait till you get the lab to green, okay, or the status should come. Right. So the task one. Meanwhile, let us explore about task one. Create a new Amazon image, a machine image AMI. So for the EC2 auto scaling. Okay. So for the Windows user, yes, we can download the lab PPK file, and once this AMI is created using what we call as using the command line interface. The first thing is that we need to configure our command line interface. Okay, we will do that using the PEM key, and then configure your using the curl. We are going to configure the command line interface. Then we are going to create a new EC2 instance using what we call as some command line interface. Okay, the whole, and then we will try to see that how we can create the syntax. So meanwhile, let us also copy this particular one into a notepad. Okay, and try to understand. So this is the complete syntax of this particular one. Okay, so ensure that this should completely work. Wherever your key name, of course, all these things, HTTP, AMI, capital letters, we need to replace and create a command line syntax. So if you want more details, yes, you can ask to show. Uh, yeah, it is still under progress. Once it is there, you can see more details. Yeah, in creation lab status. So it will show you all various parameters where we can create a command line interface. Okay. So once this is done, we can see that the instance is running using the command line. And then we can also create a custom, command line AMI creation also of that particular instance. So task 2, we are going to create an auto scaling environment, which we have done the same thing in our earlier lab. And in task 2, task 3, after that, okay, that is task 2, along with your auto scaling group and load balancer, we complete the lab. This is the objective of this particular lab, and also we will test whether a stress test also we will do whether the auto scaling is triggering all the instances or not. So let us wait till the instances, the infrastructure is completely created. Okay, so yeah, you can see the details show. If you get any further details, yes, yeah, this is your CLI. You can see various parameters also is shown across. Still the status is in creation. So this is your access KD, this is your secret access KD, and this is your session which is available. So as required, you can make use this requirements also. Just wait for about 5 to 10 minutes overall till the server is getting created. So the lab resources are created. You can see the details also here. about almost all. You can see AMI ID and all these things are available. You can copy here. Control C. I'll paste it in the notepad. This is a very, very essential step at a later stage. So I'm just copying. Okay, I'll use that. Right, right. And also I'm going to show and download my PPK keys also. Yeah, right, right. So I'll just click for the first step, that is AWS, which opens into a new window. If you see this type of message, just click here to log out and once again log in. Just click once again, it should close. Yeah, the infrastructure is ready. Click your EC2. Yeah, you should see one of the server, which is command host. We will start our exercise by logging into the server, and then using a CLI, we are going to create another instance. So copy this public IP address. So just go to PuTTY, run with your public IP, and also connection, say 30, and also your SSH auth browse. The lab user 8 is the downloaded key. Just open EC2-user. So we also need to configure your CLI. Okay, we also need to configure our CLI. You see this one? Yeah, we have logged in using PuTTY, browse, and all these things. This part is done. This part is done. We logged in successfully. All right, configure your CLI. So you can say you will understand now once you run this particular one, what is your region, and say AWS configure. Yeah, it is US West 2. Just ensure that you are in West 2. Run this AWS configure. Okay. Okay. There are no secret keys or access key provided. Press enter. Press enter. You can see at the bottom. Okay. And but you need to give US West 2. Yeah, it is already US West 2. Give that. No problem. Just press enter. JSON. Yeah, this configuration part is also done. Now go to your home directory. I think we are already into the home directory only. So you can see pwd. Yeah, you are already into /home. Yeah. Now let us create a user. I mean a new instance. You should see a file name called as more data. I mean user data.txt. Yeah, there is a file. You can see that ll cat user data.txt. I mean cat text. Yeah, you can see, you can understand this script before you run. You see this is a shell script, yum update, a batch script. Okay, yum update, first Amazon Linux, yum-y, that is install HTTP, PHP stress, okay. And also system CTL, enable HTTP.service, system CTL start HTTP, that's you're starting the HTTP service, okay. And wget, there is a file called as so and so, unzip this stress.zip, you can, and then echo find name and so, which will remove all the things which are there. Okay, so you can copy the script as we did if you want to use it for further things. Okay, right. So now what is needed is more is done. So the script performs so and so operation. Here you can see this one. I'll just run this further. 3 lines, find so and so. Then rm minus rf, which removes of all the unwanted files, authorized keys, and also your previous scripts if any. You see this. This is the one which is highlighted one I'm running. Okay, let's run properly. So these are all the things which are not required authorized keys in other areas. That's okay. These lines erase the history and security information. Use the key name, AMID, and HTTP access you made accessing. We did a copy over there, right? So now this is a very, very important time for us to get the information. This is the key name, AMI ID, HTTP access, command line host, so and so. So now replace each and everything. This is your AMI ID, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm just copying this one, replace this one with your AMI ID. Okay, done. HTTP access with this particular one, HTTP access. See this HTTP access, just replace with, okay. And now this is key name as walk key. You see this one, key name as walk key, right? And this subnet ID with this particular one. Ensure your syntax is proper. And your command host IP is 54, 52 dot so and so, 52.12 dot. This is okay. This is okay. This is your command host, right? So ensure that all things are in a single line or in a single line. Or what you can do is format word wrap. It should come in single line. If it is coming, then perfect. Try to copy this line. Output text. You see this. This is how the syntax is. What it does is it's using a key name. Run instance means it will open a new with the instance type as T2 micro and image ID so and so with the user data file name user.text. It will install all the things which are there, and security group is IDS which you have given. Subnet ID is so and associate public IP address. Okay, we need to associate a public IP address and tag the specifications with so and all these things. Okay, so key name is also defined everything. Just say Control C. Okay, and run this in the script. It should create an instance. Press enter. If everything is okay, press enter. Yeah, you have an instance ID. You have an instance. If you got this instance ID, you are done. Your instance is getting created. I'll just create. I'll write here instance ID is Control V. This is the instance. You should see. This is how you prepare your command line interface. Okay. You should see one instance should be generated. Yes. This is getting initialized. You see this web server T3 with all the defined things, subnets, and of course US to 2A in the same subnet, okay, and HTTP access is the security group, work key is the key name with all the features. It's now getting ready. So with this, yes, we have successfully done, I think, this instance creation. So let us see this particular file. Use wait instance running to monitor whether the status has been new instance ID, whether you have copied previously. So here my instance ID, which I have here, I will just try using this one. This is my instance ID. I'll replace this one with my new instance ID and see the wait instance running or not. Okay. All right. Okay. Just press enter. The wait instance running. I think it will take a little bit more time. Yes, it is running, I think. So now let us go ahead with the next step. So your instance should have started a new web server. Yes, it is. So let us understand, replace the new instance ID to get the DNS name. Let us see whether the DNS name, what is the DNS entry. So here, what I do, I replace this instance ID with this new instance ID. Okay, let me get the output. It should give the DNS IP. Yeah, this is my DNS. This is my DNS, and this is my URL also. Okay, what I can do once the instance is ready, this is my DNS. All right, I can write all the observations also. DNS of the new EMA, this one which I have created. So I can remove these codes and test it in the browser. I should see the website should start running of the AMI which I have created. This is the DNS server. Yeah, it is started running. This AWS generate load. Okay, so this is the one. Just to wait, even if it doesn't work, just wait till the status checks to health check passed completely. So then you should see this type of the web page should be. When we start doing the, don't do stress test now. Okay, once we do this auto scaling and all these things, we can do the stress test. Okay, so this I have done this particular one, public IP DNS slash index PHP. I got it. I got this particular menu. So now let us create a custom based AMI. So we will create an AMI here. How to do that? So copy the syntax, copy the syntax. So now we have successfully completed our web page. So we will create an, what we call as AMI. So replace this instance ID with this new instance. Okay. So what you can do is now copy and then paste it across in your right. So this will trigger an image ID. You see this one? This is your image ID. You can copy this one in your notepad. New AMI. You can verify also. New AMI created is this particular one. You can verify. Let us verify whether it is created or not. So here, what you can do, select your AMI. Yeah, it is getting created. You see this? This is pending. You see the ID. So it is 33175. Yeah, you can see 33175, same one. Perfect. So with this, we have completed task 1. Okay, task 1. Let us create the auto scaling environment, that is task 2. Okay. So earlier lab we have done that. So what I do here, leave this stress test as it is, or maybe what I do, I'll duplicate two more. Okay. So one for the auto scaling and one for the load balancing. So here this I'll use for load balancing and the other one I'll use for auto scaling. Okay. So let me proceed with the first one I'm leaving for this particular one. Once the AMI is complete, yeah, you can see, you should see that the AMI status should be complete after few 3-4 minutes. It's still pending. So okay. So now I'm in task 2, create an application load balancer. Okay. So this one I'm using for load balancer, create a load balancer and select application load balancer. Just say create. The load balancer name, some of the criteria has already been given. You can use that. So the name is web load balancer. Just select that and create this particular one. So it is internet facing and in network mapping, select this lab VPC and select both 2A as well as 2B, which is public subnet 1 and public subnet 2. You can verify that. So you see this one, lab VPC, subnets which you use, public subnet 1 and public subnet 2. Okay, done. Configure your security, which recommends using HTTPS for improved security. Let us do that. So scroll down in security groups. You select this security group as HTTP access. Okay, you select this HTTP access. So now the concept of listener. So here the listener, what you can do is like you can say, yeah, HTTP access. This is routing which we need to do. Routing. Okay, so select this. I don't have here anything. Even if I refresh also, I don't have a target group. I need to create a target group. This opens a new window. Okay, so here in your configure routing, your target groups are defined. So you can give this web server app. This is the target group name. Okay, this is your instance. Scroll down and target group name. You can provide as a web server app, lab VPC, HTTP1. So you can leave all these things. Application will sends traffic to the URL incoming request, such as having request from mobile apps. Your web application will use only one target group, that is website. Expand advanced health check settings. Okay, so this is mandate for us. Just scroll down, advanced health check settings. You see this one, we need to change the threshold values. So here the path is set to index.php. Okay, here the path is set to index.php, and also healthy threshold is 2, interval is 10. Healthy threshold is 2, and you can say interval is 10. Just replace the values as specified. Okay, so once this is done, you can say register targets and then review. Scroll down and say next. Register targets, don't specify anything, just scroll down and say create target group. Yeah, create, next review and create and close. So you can see this one, the target group should be created. You can see this one. Okay, successfully created. Go back. So here just refresh and see that the web server app group is now applicable as a target group. Okay, so yes, now let us complete the launch config. I mean the auto scaling group. Right, next is the review and then create and close. So go back. So add-on services, nothing. Your tags, just review. So you see nothing has been, we are no options, nothing. We have added already the listener. Go down and create the load balancer. So this completes the first part of your load balancer. You can see the view load balancer. It's now in provisioning. After 3-4 minutes, you should see it should be okay. So let me see the images whether it has been successfully created or not by refreshing the first part. Yes, it is available. Fantastic. So now I go to this particular one. Image is ready. Right. Now the next step is to do the launch configuration in auto scaling. So I open this particular one in auto scaling, which is already there in the launch configuration auto scaling groups. So here create a launch configuration. So just the name of this launch configuration should be web server launch configuration. Okay, web server launch configuration. See, Amazon AMI is my AMI, which I have created earlier. You see this one, web server, which is through the command line interface, and it is successful also. Ensure that. And here the instance type, you select this T3 micro. Okay, choose instance type as T3 dot micro. Yeah, it's loading all the instances. It has loaded. Go scroll down, scroll down, scroll down, but ensure that you do only in Vocaren T3 dot, I mean micro, T3 dot micro. Yeah, which has 2 CPU and 1 GB of RAM. Choose this one for our lab. Okay, no spot instances, nothing. Storage volume is okay. Security group, we need to select an existing security group. Okay, select an existing, that to HTTP access. So yeah, select an existing one and HTTP access. Select that, which is already created for you. Key pair, yes, you can choose your walk key and say I acknowledge. So then you can create your launch gun. You can proceed without a key pair also, but if you have no problem, no problem. It's okay. So create a launch configuration. Yeah. So this launch configuration successfully has been created. Okay. So now next is that create an auto scaling group. Once this is done, we should see 2 instances should be created. So now let us move ahead. Yeah, to the auto scaling. What is that? AS group. So this is successfully created. The template, launch configuration template. Go to auto scaling groups. So create an auto scaling group, right? The group name, as mentioned, you can provide this as a web server AS group. Control C and select your lab VPC. This is your, so if this doesn't come, then select this particular one. Should see your right web server launch configuration, which I have created earlier. Just say next. Under VPC, select your lab VPC. In availability zone, click private 1 and 2. Private 1 and 2. So here, this is private 1 and private 2. And just say next. Now we have created the load balancer. Attach this one to the existing load balancer which you have already. That is web server HTTP app. Okay, so you have created, you have selected target group, and of course we need to enable group metrics collected in CloudWatch. So scroll down, you can select this ELB also, no problem. Otherwise, you can select. You need to select this CloudWatch metrics also. Okay, so scroll down. So once this is done, I think we need to go ahead with the next step by selecting the profile. I mean group size. This is 2, desired capacity is 2, minimum capacity is 2, maximum capacity is 4. The sizing is need not. I think you need to specify the target value, target tracking policy, and enter as 40. So target tracking policy, CPU utilization from 50 replace with 40. Okay, so you can see that 40. Next, and add notification base. Scroll down. Right, add notification, nothing is required. Then next is the add tags. So we will add a tag, key, and web app. The name is key. Sorry, the name and the web app. Name and the web app. Okay, I'll give that and say next. Okay, this is the review page. Once this is create auto scaling, you will see 2 instances should be created. As of now, 2 more instances should be created. Okay, let us do that. Create an auto scaling group. So this will trigger the tracking policy. You see this one, it is getting updated. The target, I mean the capacity. So the desired is 2, the minimum is 2, maximum is 4. Just refresh. If you see this instance as 2, go back to your instances and see refresh. 2 instances should be now created. This is web app, okay, and this is another web app. 2 instances are created, that is T2 micro, which the AMI which you have. Right. So now let us verify. We have verified already. There is 2 instances which is created. Now go back to your load balancer. So just wait for a few minutes till the instances are ready. Okay. So here my DNS name. This is my load balancer. You see this one? It should be now available. Yeah, it is active. Once this is active, copy your DNS name. Okay, copy your DNS name. I'll just copy here. Right. Load balancer. I mean endpoint. This one. So now these instances, once they are ready, you can connect it. So I'm closing this particular one. This is your instance DNS name. I'm closing this. I will open this DNS endpoint. DNS endpoint. This should ensure it should work. Load balancer should work. If this is working, yes, it is working. It is working. Yes. Just wait for a few more minutes to get the status check finished. So once this is done, we can do a kind of stress test. But before that, we also need to see that, go back to the CloudWatch and start the stress test. Start the stress test. Okay. After a period of time, you should see an alarm also coming across over there in the CloudWatch, and then you can also see one more instance should be generated. I don't think alarms are created here in this. It's not required alarms, so the stress will immediately replace. I think above 50% it should trigger another instance. Let us do the stress test. So you see here it is still under initiation. Let us wait for some more time and get back. Okay, just let me, yeah, it is, I think, almost getting through this 2x2 health check passed. So let me do the stress test. Let me do the stress test. It will take a couple of minutes. So this is the stress test. Start the stress test. So that there will be some load which will be generated on the systems on both the website. So once the load is generated, after few minutes, you should see the auto scaling should trigger a couple of one more system. Okay. So wait for 3 minutes. Okay. It should capture the CloudWatch metrics. From there, yes, you can see that the load balancer, so the auto scaling should trigger one more instance. You can see this. This is the dashboard of auto scaling. When you press I mean refresh, you should see more what we call is desired capacity should change to 3, and then the instance should come to one more thing. So that is the final test. And you can see, you should also see the EC2 also should be one more instance should be added along with 2, you should get through that. So that is the end of our lab. Okay, so let us wait till the final verification. I'll get back again. Since I can see this load balancer is active, I'll close this particular one, and also the target groups I really don't require. I just want to see the load and then the instance is getting multiplied. Here, let us wait for some more time. You can also verify by using this CloudWatch alarms. Both of them are okay currently. So once the stress is high, generating the load, start the stress, yes, it is high, then you should see even a CloudWatch alarm coming. Yeah, you can see the alarm has triggered. You can see this in alarm with the CPU utilization greater than 40%. Okay. Let us wait to see the auto scaling. Yes, it has already crossed 3 and 4. Okay. Now in your instances, you should see more instances running. Yeah, your web app 4 instances are running. This is because of this load which has been created, and hence our lab is complete. Okay, so we have verified that because of yeah, CloudWatch has detected the average utilization of more than like 45% exceeded, and the scale up policy has triggered to this response. So once you have completed, you can just say end lab. Okay, yes to confirm. Okay, this will the delete has been initiated. You may close the box now. Okay, that's all in this lab. Thank you everyone and bye.